Hello friends, welcome to In the Studio with Pyramid Dye Works. I am Pyramid Dye Works, also known as Liz. I am a knitter and a natural dyer, and I am coming to you from my living room in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I just recently moved down here to Santa Fe. I had been living up in Taos, New Mexico for the last 8 years, and I just moved down here a couple months ago. So this is a new place for me, so I'm still trying to find the best place to set up and to have some decent lighting. This seemed like a pretty good spot, and you get to look at my dog sleeping on the couch over there, which, by the way, guys, I have a couch now. It's really exciting. Check it out. It's a couch. It's very comfy. It's been about 3 weeks since I last sat down and talked with you guys and shared what I have been working on. And I have gotten into a lot of old projects. I spent a week and challenged myself by working on a different project each day of the week because I was just really feeling a slump in my knitting mojo. It was, still the end of summer. It's officially fall now, and it's feeling very much more like fall outside. So it's a lot easier to feel compelled to want to knit and be crafty. But I was in a slump there, so I said I'm gonna do a different project every day, and that made me pull out a lot of old projects that I haven't worked on in a while. I haven't necessarily made a lot of progress on those, but it did make me pull them back out and look at them again and just be reminded of them. So now I have more motivation to sort of finish what I'm working on so I can actually get to those other things so I can cast on the next things because I'm already thinking about the next thing that I want to cast on. So I have no finished objects for you this week. I didn't finish anything. So we can just move right along into whips. This is the project I have now been putting the most concentration into. I really want to get it done. Let's see, inside out. This is, I remember the name, Sofarine. It's the Sofarine top by, Audrey Borrego. It is a free pattern. It's really wrinkly because it's been crumpled up in my bag, and this is a 50-50 wool linen blend. So yeah, it's holding those creases from just being stuffed in a bag. But as you can see, the body is done. Look at that. And the neckline is done. Would you look at that? So now I just have sleeves. I actually did put a progress keeper in here. It's the only project I thought to do this on. Sorry. This is where I was when I recorded the last podcast 3 weeks ago. So I have knit the rest of the body and the neckline in that time. On this project, I worked on other things too. Okay, so what can I say about this at this point? My big dilemma has been whether I want to knit short sleeves or whether I want to keep it as a tank top and just finish off the armholes with the same ribbing as the neckline. I think I'm gonna knit short sleeves. I have enough yarn to do so. I just broke into my last skein to do literally the last round of knitting and the bind off round on the neckline. I had to break into my last ball. So if it had been one of those things where I would have had an entire intact ball left with finishing as a tank top, I probably would have done that. But since I already had to break into it just to finish the neckline, okay, well, I might as well use it up and knit myself some sleeves. I took some pictures the other night whenever I first finished the body. I hadn't done the neckline yet, but I'll put them in here so you can kind of see how deep it sits right now, which honestly, I think it would be okay if I just added a little bit of ribbing. It sits a little bit below like my store-bought tank top, but I still don't think that it would be excessively low for the arm scythe. Oh, here's Conan coming to say hi. I also put a poll up on my Instagram the other day and asked if I should do short sleeves or just finish as a tank top. And a majority of 2/3 said that I should do the short sleeves. Oh, hello, Conan. Do you want to say hello? Come here. Come say hi. Oh, Conan. Oh, he's so cute. Where are you going? Okay. He wants to sit on the couch, but he's a little nervous because Sai is asleep. Like, I don't want to disturb the sleeping dog. All right. He's gonna wander on. Oh, he's probably gonna jump up here. Yeah. Oh no, he's gonna go sit in the sun in the window. That's a good spot, buddy. Oh. Yes, speaking of the yarn, it is a 50-50 linen wool blend. It is Portuguese Retrosarius 4 Alvor. Color number 17. 50% linen, 50% wool. So I think I'm gonna knit the sleeves, and I think, depending how much yarn I have, which I think I have plenty. What's the yardage on this? 100 grams is 333 yards. Is that right? 339 yards. Oh my God. Y'all, I think I need bifocals. I wear contacts. So I guess I need readers, right? It's getting there. It's getting there. I'm in my mid-40s now. I guess that's just what happens. The last time I went to the optometrist, she told me, it's just a matter of time. Whenever you feel like you need it, just come back and let me know. Like, oh man, okay. Anyway, I have 339 yards. I've probably used 9, maybe 9, not even. I've probably used 2 yards to finish off the neckline. So I have almost the full 339 yards to do 2 sleeves. I think I might do them a little bit longer, like right around here-ish, like kind of more like a half sleeve. I find that I really tend to go for those cuts of shirts the most often, like in the fall and the spring and the in-between times, which this being a 50-50 blend is definitely like an in-between season top. So I think I would probably enjoy it the most and get the most use out of it with like kind of a half sleeve situation. The other project that I put a good amount of work on and also ripped back some more, it's this fella. The Tuku sweater from Saskia & Co., formerly the Petite Knitter. When I bought the pattern, she was still called the Petite Knitter. So it's been going for a while. Yeah, so last time I shared this with you guys, I had just finished the body, and now I am working on a sleeve. So unfortunately, I did actually knit the entire sleeve, except for the ribbing. When I tried it on, I realized that it really got a little bit too tight. I needed to eliminate some of the decreases. So I ripped back. I'm not gonna put this on, but oh yeah, you can see it's like a half sleeve right now. So I had knit it down to like where I was supposed to start the ribbing. There he goes. He's gonna lay on my project bag. I had already knit it all the way down to where I was supposed to start the ribbing and realized it was just too tight. So I ripped it all the way back up to like here. And now I have started, is that right? Oh no, I ripped it back to here and I have started again. So I ripped back 4 decreases. So that's a pretty significant amount, plus the amount of stockinette that I had already knit after that. So yeah, like this much plus some is like how much I ripped back. And now I'm going on the sleeve again. I have people ask me this a lot whenever they see, like other knitters see me knitting, and they ask me what is going on with this little dotted line. This is how I track my decreases. So all I do is I just take a little piece of scrap yarn And anytime after I do a decrease round, I just lay the scrap yarn in between the stitches and then I keep knitting. And then it makes it really easy to count my rows so I can see when my next decrease round is. And then after I do the decrease round, I lay the yarn the other way and then it just goes back and forth, right? So then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 decreases. And then when I'm done, I can just whoop, pull it out. I'm not going to right now because I haven't knit the other sleeve yet. And I need to remember what I did. I do have to say, picking this up after working on my Sofarine top, this knit so quickly because it's worsted weight on size 6, I think I'm knitting on for the body. Yeah, size US 6, which is what, like a 4 millimeter. And the Sofarine top, I have been knitting for quite a while, 1x1 twisted rib on size US 2, which I believe is a 2.5 millimeter. Because I was working on the bottom hem of the body and then I did the whole neckline. So I've been knitting on these tiny needles, doing 1x1 half twisted rib. I'm not twisting the purls, I'm just twisting the knits. Thank God. But still, picking this up and just like flying on a sleeve for an evening was kind of amazing. So I didn't feel that bad about having to rip back because I knit it in like one sitting anyhow. Yeah, so I just need to like put on a movie and or just even a couple of TV shows, like 30-minute shows or something. And I'll probably be just about done with that sleeve. The yarn I am using is Gilliette from De Rerum Natura. They're French. French merino. Very luxurious. Yeah, and also I have talked a lot about the colors before too. It might be a little hard to see because it's the orange, but it's actually pink. It's a really light pink. And I wanted a pink and orange jumper. It's funny, I was watching a podcast the other day and she was, I think she's Irish, and she was talking about trying to stop herself from saying sweater because she consumes so much like American media and American like knitting content that she hears people say sweater all the time. So now she's starting to say sweater and she's like, that's not the word we use. They're jumpers here. But I've done the opposite. I consume so much of people from the UK that I just kind of call them jumpers now. Oh my gosh, I have so many projects. Okay, so now we are getting into the old projects that I have not touched in a long time, but I did touch in my week-long challenge trying to knit on a different project every day. Number 1, it's a brioche hat. No pattern, I just wanted to knit some brioche. I am not an experienced brioche knitter in any way. In fact, the join in the round on this, I think it's on that side, yeah, it's pretty sloppy. You can see I had a hard time like mastering it. There's a lot of mistakes in there. Whatever. I just wanted to do it for the yarn. So I bought this yarn when I went to YarnCon in Chicago. It is from Lavender and Loom. They're from Minnesota, I think. They're definitely like upper Midwest. So I got to see their stuff in person and I just loved this color. And the base was an interesting blend, which I can't remember anymore because my cat ate the label, but I'm pretty sure it has Cormo in it. It was like at least 50% Cormo. Maybe it was like 60 Cormo, 40 something else. But it just feels like buttery. I don't know if you've ever worked with Cormo before. I knit a sweater once out of 100% undyed Cormo, and it was freaking luscious. It's just like, it feels like butter. It just feels like butter. I don't know how else to describe it. I love Cormo. Anyway, so I pulled this out during my week-long challenge and I knit just a few rows on it, but it got me to the point where I'm ready to decrease. and now I just have to decrease. And now that it's starting to be a little bit chillier out, we haven't gotten to hat weather yet. We've gotten to evening throw on a sweater over the top of your t-shirt weather, but that's about as far as we've gotten. But it would be really nice to have a sweet, squishy brioche hat for when the weather starts to turn. And I don't have much left to do. It won't take me long. The problem is I don't really know brioche, so I'm gonna have to look up a video about how to do brioche decreases, and then I'm gonna have to draft the top of a hat pattern because I'm not going off of a pattern. I just cast on willy-nilly. Yeah. Another old project that I hadn't touched in ages are the socks that are taking just like absolutely forever. I have been knitting on these socks for 3.5 years and they're still not done. I at least have one sock completely done. They are the Oktoberfest Socken by Maria Dietrich, is that right? I'm not sure. I'll have everything listed down below and linked. Really, really beautiful, intricately cabled sock pattern. I am on the second sock. And, oh my goodness, this is so tangly. Clearly just tossed this in my bag in the middle of a row. That was silly. So during my week-long knitting challenge, I had gotten through the heel on the sock, and that's when I put it away the last time, which was probably like a year ago. They're Oktoberfest socks, so I think I only picked them up in September, and then I'm like, oh, right. And then I don't finish them, and I'm like, well, I'll get them done for next year, and then September comes around, and I'm like, oh, right, and I never finished them. Anyway, I had finished turning the heel and picking up the stitches along the gusset edge before I put them away last time. And during my week-long challenge, I finished knitting through the gusset, and now I can just knit even down to the toe, continuing the cable pattern down the sock. Yeah, so it's one more year that these are not ready for Oktoberfest. Oops. I'm not going to any Oktoberfest celebrations anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. They're just really pretty. I just don't enjoy knitting it. Doing these cables on like a size 1 is just a little bit too much for me. 2.25 millimeters, a size 1. Yeah, and I think I knit kind of tightly. The smaller my gauge gets, I think maybe that's probably pretty common. And it's really snug and kind of a challenge to do these cables. And I do all of my cabling without a cable needle. There's no like large cable crosses in here where I would feel like I needed a cable needle. I'm pretty sure the most you're ever crossing is like 2x2. So given the history of these socks, I am probably going to put them away and I'll pull them out again next September. Next September. Just not a priority. And another old project that I haven't touched since the beginning of the summer. This is not as old as those other projects. Those are years old. This one I did cast on just at the beginning of summer. Okay, good. I have my little stoppers on there. I just wanted to make sure. It's a shawl. I do not often knit shawls, but I really, really wanted a big, chunky, like textured shawl. This has this really beautiful lace in it. I'm trying to kind of stretch it out on my arm. Very pretty. The pattern is Tortoise Shell. And it is from Lane Magazine issue 6, I think. Again, I will have everything listed and linked below. I have knit this pattern once before, and I did quite enjoy it. And I wanted a giant shawl that I could wrap around myself on a patio this fall. That was my thinking. So I am knitting this out of my own yarn. Pyramid Dye Works, my worsted base. It's 100% US grown and spun Targhee. That is the sheep breed. And I dyed this with Navajo tea. It is a wildflower that grows here. I collected it along the roadside out by Abiquiu. Yeah, and it's really beautiful. This colorway is ochre. I do have some of this in my shop if anybody wants it. It is number 6. Here we go. First shell. Let's show you pictures here. Big, wraparound, chunky. You know, it's one of those repeating patterns, so you can really make it as big as you want. And I have 5 skeins of this. I had a dye job go bad, so these got to stay with me. Yeah, so I have 5. I'm on the 2nd skein now. I don't think I'm going to use all 5 for this, but that would be epic. We'll see how fast it starts going as the lace starts, or as the shawl starts getting wider and wider, you know, the yarn's going to go faster. So the problem with this at this point is the last time I had it out, the needle slipped out. I was sitting on the couch with the dog and he bumped me, and I had just started a row and I was like, I don't know, 20, 25 stitches in, and it just fell out in lace. And I was like, yeah. And I picked it all back up as carefully as I could. And I was like, okay, it's fine. I think I pretty much got everything there. Like, I can resume. I resumed. Literally 30 seconds later, I did the exact same thing. The needle fell back out of all the same stitches. And I was like, oh my God. It's really bad. So I picked him up again as carefully as I could, and could tell that it's much more messed up now than it was before. And I promptly put it down, put the needle stoppers on there so that it won't go anywhere. And I have been afraid to go back and try and figure out my mistakes in lace at this point. I just want to be able to sit on my patio, or a patio, and wrap myself up in this on a chilly fall evening and like have a cocktail by a fire. Sounds perfect. Oh, there's Gertie. She's gonna go sit in the sun now. Yeah, and that shawl is knitting up on size 7 needle, which that would be what, like a 4.5? Yes, a 4.5, look at me. Guys, I still have a lot more to talk about. I did not realize I've been doing so many things. I had a wild hair. I don't know if it's a wild hair. I had an urge. Well, I can tell you exactly what happened. So I had started working on some little like winter themed holiday cross stitches like 2 years ago, I think. And I made pretty good progress on one of them, but then I ran out of thread in 1 or 2 of the colors, and I just kind of like hit a roadblock because I didn't live close to any place where you could just go and like pick up DMC thread. I would have to order it online or wait until I came down to Santa Fe and go and get it at Joann, which of course Joann is no longer. So I had ran out of thread and I just kind of set it aside, and then Christmas came and went. And I was like, I'll pick it up next year. And then of course I didn't pick it up next year. And then it was just sitting in a basket next to my computer that my cats like to sleep in. And it just got so gross. It just covered in hair, so gross. And I was moving and I almost just threw the thing away. And I was like, this is just disgusting. Like, oh God. I put so many hours into it, and like it should be so cute, but it's just like so caked in cat hair. Anyway, I went ahead and I washed it. I ran it through the washer and dryer, and I was like, I'll just see what happens. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe it'll all like come unraveled in the washer or the dryer or something. But whatever, I'm just gonna like give it a chance. And I threw it in there with like all of the Aida cloth that I had because it had all been in that basket and it was all pretty gross. And it came out of the dryer and it looked amazing. And I was like, oh my God, that is so cute. And I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you now because it's so cute. I've done a lot of work on this over the last couple weeks. What? What? It's adorable. It's so cute. I am seriously almost done with this. Right, so it looked amazing and I was like, oh, okay, I really want to work on that now. And then I was like, oh, but Joann is no longer. Like, where do you even get DMC thread now? And then I realized, oh, we're a city. We also have a Michaels. And I just went into Michaels and I bought the thread that I needed. like a real person in a real city. It was so weird. Yeah. So I've been stitching away on this. I am totally done with the white and the turquoise, I believe. I need to do some fill-in on the gray. Like, this poor little deer is missing his fourth leg still. And yeah, some of these trees need little yellow, I was gonna say stalks, trunks. And there's a few other little fill-in spots that need to get filled in with either like the gray or that mustard yellow. But this is just almost done. Isn't it adorable? And I cannot think of the designer off the top of my head. I bought this pattern off of Etsy. She is a Ukrainian designer, I know that, and I will link it below. And I bought this in a set of 5 different little sort of, they're all these circular cross-stitch motifs, and like Scandinavian folky, and they're all sort of like seasonally appropriate. So, you know, it's very wintry. Like, it's not Christmas, but it's winter, right? Got your little reindeer and your little winter fox and owl. I guess there are little ornaments. That's pretty Christmassy. There's some ornaments. And the holly, you know. And the little snowy trees. It's very cute. And that squirrel. Oh my God, that squirrel with his little acorn. It's so cute. So I'm almost done with this. I don't know how I'm gonna mount it. If I'll like get a square frame or just like get an embroidery hoop and just like put it in there sort of permanently so I can hang it up. But I have a great theory of having different seasonal cross stitches that I can swap out throughout the year. Whenever I went to get the extra thread for this one, I went ahead and got the right color thread for another one. And it's another winter themed one. I think it had like 3 winter themes, 1 spring and 1 fall. So I'll throw up a little picture, just a quick picture of like what the whole thing is supposed to be. It's another winter theme. You've got a polar bear and the rocking horse, I guess, is Christmas, right? I don't know. Anyway, it's also adorable. And this is as far as I've gotten. It's so satisfying. I thought this one would be really satisfying because it's like just filling in these like big blocks of color. And with this one, I've been doing like all these little tiny detailed bits, you know? So it's kind of a nice change of pace. And it's very enjoyable. And I'm pretty sure they call this poppy red, although I would call it poppy orange. It's very orange. Yeah, so that's the little center flower, and then I'll have all the little guys going around it. Very exciting. I have a new hobby. Okay, so now we're on to dyeing. I've been dyeing in my studio again. Back up in Towers, my natural dye studio was my back porch. Now down here in Santa Fe, my natural dye studio is my front porch, I guess. I've set my stuff out in my little front courtyard. And I have started dyeing up some extra yarn for the Taos Wools Fest, which is the first weekend of October, which I will be vending at. So I'm dyeing up some extras of sort of the most popular colors that tend to go the fastest. Oh, hi, Gertie. So that's been really fun, sort of doing it in a different space and kind of figuring out a workflow in this space and just like physically where to put things and where it makes sense to like have the hose to fill up my buckets and like where should I do my rinsing, like where's a good place to dump my rinse water, that kind of a thing. So yeah. Yeah, I've been getting back out there and kind of getting things set up, and it felt really good to just like be outside in the courtyard and just sort of keeping my eye on the yarn and like, oh yeah, I've done this before. This feels like a thing that I do. So I'm about 2 weeks out from that festival. If you are around or if you're in the Santa Fe area, come on up to Taos. It's going to be great fun. I have vended at that festival the last 2 years as well, because obviously I was living up there. So it made a lot more sense. But yeah, it's a really fun festival. It's held at Revolt Gallery, which they have a really great large outdoor space that's very shaded and has like picnic tables, and they always have music set up and food, and it's a really good time. People just come hang out, chill. It's a great little community event. So yes, please, if you're around the area, come out for Taos Wools the first weekend of October. I will be there with my yarns and with some weaving. So I have been learning how to weave. I've been doing a lot of color play, which I'm really enjoying. I mean, obviously, like, I'm a dyer, I'm into color. Like, it sort of makes sense that that's kind of the way that I'm more interested in leaning with the weaving, is playing with the color rather than like doing intricate weaving techniques. I'll throw up a few pictures of some of the scarves that I have made that I will have with me at the Wools Fest. If you're interested in a naturally dyed, hand-woven 100% wool scarf, I will have those in my booth. Hey, Future Liz here. So I ended up rambling about a weaving project that I was working on that ended up being a major fail, made me very angry, and I cut it off the loom. So I just cut that whole thing out. We're just not even going to talk about it. We're going to pretend it never happened. Deal? Deal. So I'm just going to leave you with a little bit of footage of me working in the dye studio this week. It is quickly approaching the weekend of Taos Wools Fest. If you're in the northern New Mexico, southern Colorado area, I would love it if you would come see me. Yeah, enjoy this footage of me trying to figure out how to set up my dye studio in this new space, which is my front yard. Enjoy. Bye, guys.